Perfect. Kate, welcome everyone. Super excited to be here with you tonight. We have the most incredible call for you guys to be on. Super excited to talk to Megan, super excited about this launch. Who has done the sample workout? Raise your hand, right? Like, holy crap, it's going to be, I was so freaking sore. So I cannot wait for this program. My name is Sydney Maurer. I am the Senior Manager of the West Region. If you are in the West Region, make sure you come find me and introduce yourself. And I love meeting all the coaches in the West Region. But let's get to you guys. So our hosts today for the call are these amazing coaches. We have Kenzie Bone, Krista Walsh, Rachel Harshfield, Sydney Thompson, and Kate Schultes, teams on the call. Welcome, everyone. I'm actually going to turn it over to Kate, and Kate is going to announce Megan, and then Megan's going to get going and tell you guys all about this amazing program. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box while Megan's talking, and then I'll also be in there dropping the Facebook link, the FAQ, the start dates, and stuff like that. So just kind of keep an eye on the chat box. Kate, why don't you take over?
Cool. Hi, guys. Can you hear me all right? I was kind of being sketchy for a second. So, but I'm super excited because Megan, I absolutely adore you. Megan and I hung out at the Arizona Super Saturday, like a couple Super Saturdays ago now. And it was just really cool because I feel like I didn't really know who Megan was. I knew that she had done Clean Week and all this stuff, but she is probably one of my most favorite humans in the entire world. And if you guys don't know who Megan is, she is the super trainer for Clean Week and then also now MBF. And if you have not seen the 20s, so I was not a coach when she won the 20s reality show, but you guys all have access to it in your Beachbody On Demand, or it's on Amazon Prime for free. I binge watched it a couple months ago because I had nothing else to watch because I'd watched everything on Netflix, and it's still awesome to watch even though you know the outcome. So Megan, I was just wondering if you could kind of tell us a little bit more about you for those of you who don't know, those of everyone who doesn't know who you are, and then kind of a little bit of the inspiration behind creating MBF and MBFA.
Absolutely. So hi guys, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you guys all for taking the time tonight. And hold on, let me switch my view here so I can see. There we go. Okay. Yes, so I'll start with, my background, why we created MBF. I was a fitness and figure competitor for 13 years, for a really long time. So my background is strength training, and my entire family kind of went through this transformation, which is the biggest part of my story and why I got started in fitness. I was just kind of always the active kid that liked to be outside playing sports, and like I said, kind of fell into doing these figure and fitness competitions. So people automatically think that my family must have then been very fit and healthy, and that couldn't have been further from the truth back then. And, my family really tried to make some healthy decisions, or every once in a while would try to make sure that we were eating healthier, but we would kind of go on this roller coaster ride where my parents, my dad would go into the gym for hours on end, and, they would try to eat more salads, but they weren't really putting anything in their salads. So they really were kind of starving themselves down essentially. Anything with the word diet, fat-free, sugar-free on it, then that's what we would eat, because that must be good for you. We really had no idea what we should be doing for our nutrition. And so at this time, I was just outworking my family's poor eating habits. And I had competed for several years before one day at a show. I was sitting with my dad in the audience during an intermission, and I turned to my dad and I said, Daddy, I feel so sorry for you. And at the time, he was 100 pounds overweight. He was starting to have some health issues due to his weight. But, to me, I didn't even realize that my dad was overweight. So he was kind of sitting there and he was like, what does my 17-year-old daughter feel sorry for me for? What do you mean? And, it didn't occur to me that he was overweight. Where I was coming from was the fact that I knew he was working himself into the ground, that he was stressed, that he was tired, that he wasn't taking care of himself, that he wasn't doing things that he loves to do. And I think I was very lucky to say it in the way that I did say it, because sometimes I feel like your kids, they want you to be healthy and happy, just like you want them to be healthy and happy. And maybe they don't always have the words to say it or express it. But one thing I always hear from parents is like, well, I can't, take care of myself because of all the things I'm doing for my kids. They want you to be able to take those moments and make sure that you're also healthy and happy. And like I said, they may not always have the words for it. So that's really where I was coming from and what kind of prompted him to start his fitness journey. So at the time he was 47 years old and like I said, 100 pounds overweight. And he decided by the time he was 50 that he wanted to do a bodybuilding show with me. So he was giving himself 3 years to make it onto that stage. And it took him a little bit, like about a year to lose the weight, but he still didn't look like a bodybuilder. And he'll always say his goal was not to embarrass himself when he stepped onto the stage. So he needed to learn about nutrition, how to fuel his body appropriately to gain muscle. And so that's what he started to do. He started learning about nutrition. And I always say it's so important. For me at the time, I looked like the epitome of health and fitness. I was doing bodybuilding shows essentially. I had the six pack, I had the muscle on me, but I didn't know what I was doing as far as nutrition was concerned. So I was playing the guessing game and I was asking other competitors what they were doing as far as nutrition. And I wasn't always getting the best advice. And so I had cut down my healthy fats out of my diet completely because I didn't know what healthy fats, did for you basically. And I had cut down my body fat so low that my hair was falling out, my cycle was messed up. I was a wreck. And so I tell people all the time that when you look at some of these fitness professionals that, you look at them and you say, wow, they're so healthy and so fit. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. And so that was kind of a wake up call for me that even though I looked healthy and fit, I needed to learn about nutrition just as much as my dad, who was looking to lose 100 pounds. So we started learning about it together. And then my mom got on board. Her thing was like dance. My brother started lifting, and we started learning about nutrition together. And so we really made this family transformation. And my dad did get on the stage by the time he was 50. He ended up winning the men's Overmasters fitness division. So I got to go on stage and give him his trophy and everything. It was kind of like the cherry on top of this huge transformation we had made. And from there, just like coaches, you start building your business and people start asking, what are you doing? You start sharing what you're doing and people want to know what you're doing. And that's exactly what happened with us. No social media back then, but people saw our transformation. They said, I need this for me. I need this for my family. And so we just started having friends and family come to my parents' house, teaching them in the garage and in the living room of the things that they needed to be doing, and eventually opened up a gym together. And my mom is our office manager and does all of our marketing. If I ever have like marketing questions, I ask my mom, and or Facebook questions, I ask my mom. And my dad is a trainer. My brother's a trainer. So that's kind of my day-to-day is working at the gym with my family. And then in 2016, I got the opportunity to be on the reality show, The 20s. And that was something I fell into as well because I really didn't know what Beachbody was. And I've been showing everybody my awesome shirt today. Introvert, but willing to talk about fitness. And so I am an introvert. And if you would have asked me a few years ago if I would be doing something like this, I would have been like, absolutely not, because that sounds like my nightmare. And so when I was asked to do the reality show, that was pretty much my response as well. And they were like, but it's for Beachbody. And I said, I don't know what that is, and I don't want to do a reality show. And I said no 3 times before I finally just was like, well, they will stop bothering me if I put in these videos. And I put in the videos. But I really didn't know what it was. And I think as a trainer, you also have tons of misconceptions about what online fitness, businesses look like. And so, as a trainer, I was sitting there like, well, I don't know what this shake is. It probably has like garbage in it. And I don't know what these workouts are. Insanity, they probably are just trying to make people throw up. They're not trying to make anybody better or stronger. Like, what if they're a beginner? I didn't know that they had modifiers. Nutrition, they're probably just starving people down. Like I had all these misconceptions about what that would look like. And so when I went into the 20s, I had to have all those misconceptions broken down. I realized that there was modifiers, that these nutrition programs are legit. They're not trying to starve everybody down. They're trying to give everybody the best possible access, the access and the resources that I wish I had when my family was getting started. is what Beachbody is trying to give. I had to learn about what was in Shakeology and all the nutrition programs and all the workout programs. So that's when we created Clean Week, was just to introduce people to Beachbody the way I needed to be introduced into Beachbody, and show them what an incredible support system there even is in Beachbody, and to get people moving again. If it's their first time kind of getting into fitness, Beachbody is an introductory program. We talk about form a lot through the program and really get their bodies moving again. And now it's kind of been a long, overdue wait, and I have been waiting for this moment. And like I said, my background is strength training. So if there's two things I love, it's lifting heavy and moving fast. So I knew that this was the program for me. Like, this is what I wanted to do. And the only difference is Carl challenged me to put my vision to music. He actually called me one day and was like, we need to like redo everything. Like, we need to, figure something else out. I want to go in a different direction. You have rhythm, right? And my heart sank, because I thought he was going to throw my fitness program out the window and tell me I needed to do a dance program. And nothing wrong with dancing, but I'm just not the dance instructor. So I was like, sweating. And then Carl was like, no, I just want to challenge you to set what you have designed to music, because I think it will add like an element that people will love. And honestly, I was skeptical. I've never trained to music before. I've never taught anything to music before. And so it was definitely a learning curve for me. This added something so incredible, I can't even tell you, to the program. It keeps the intensity up. It keeps the fire going throughout the workout. It keeps you honest about your rest time, because that music's going to start. There's no option to continue to rest. So I think it added a whole new level to my own training. Like, I feel more fit and more healthy and stronger than I felt in a long time. So I think you guys are going to really love it. Jesse Blake made all the music, who did MM100, who did 10 rounds. So you already know that the music's going to be amazing, and it was amazing in the sample workout. So I hope you guys liked it. But yeah, did you guys want to do like Q&A style, or you want me to just like ramble?
Yeah, I think if we want to kind of go into talking about like the structure of the program a little bit, about like the workout schedule, and then maybe talk a little bit about nutrition, since we do get To Be Mindset and UPF, and kind of your thoughts on that. And then if you guys want to just put comments in the chat, I can try and keep track if we miss any, and then we can do Q&A after that, if that's cool.
Cool. So yeah, so the structure of the program, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have kind of our more traditional strength training days set to music. So if you guys did the sample workout, you already know that we have that asymmetrical block where we load one side of our body. And I really want you to challenge yourself with how much weight you're loading to the side of your body. The whole purpose of that is it is throwing you off balance, that you have to correct for that your core has to engage so much more throughout that block. That block is also high density training, high volume training, high rep training. So you're going to have to pick a weight, pick carefully, because it's going to be a lot of reps through that round. You're going to have 3 different exercises, basically 2 different moves, and then a combo move on one side before we switch sides. So it's definitely high volume training, and high volume training has been proven to help people gain muscle. So that's exactly what we're trying to do here, is build muscle, build everybody's metabolism up. That's how you're going to not only get the results that you're looking for, but maintain those results into the future. So this is we are prioritizing strength training in this program. So if you've been confused about what kind of program this is, we're prioritizing strength training. 2 days out of the week, we have our core circuit days. It's still important. Like, your heart rate's still going to be up in the weight training. Let's make that very clear. But I think it's still important to get some of those cardio days to make sure our core is strong, because it's only going to make your lifting that much better. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, our core circuit, a little bit of cardio, a little bit of core. You're going to learn a couple of different moves during that workout that you're going to kind of bring down to the end of the workout in something called an AMRAP. And that's as many rounds as possible. So we can kind of make this little list of exercises for you with a certain number of reps for each exercise. And you cycle through that list as many times as you can in a 4-minute period for MBF and a 6-minute period for MBFA. And that AMRAP stays the same from week to week. So on Tuesday, you'll have the same list of exercises. Every Tuesday, you'll do the same exercises. So that way you can try to meet or beat your score. Thursday, you'll have a different list of exercises. You'll try to meet or beat your score through the program. And that makes a personal competition for yourself. It also makes a really fun thing for you guys to share with your challengers. And even if they get like one more rep, that's exactly the kind of increases that we're looking for. Not like, oh, I did 10 more rounds. It's probably not going to look like that. It's going to be these small little incremental changes if you're really pushing yourself. And that's really what we're looking for. Saturday and Sunday workouts are super short, and Saturday is super sweaty. And my favorite workout, Saturday, is called Power Ignite. And that you already got a taste of, which was the EMOM training, every minute on the minute. It was part of our sample workout. You're going to get a certain exercise to do, a certain number of reps. And it's either a 5 or a 10-minute block. There's a couple of different kinds of blocks in there. And so I'm going to give you 40 seconds to complete that exercise, because I do at least want to give you 20 seconds of rest no matter what. And then you start at the top of each minute with that same exercise. The faster you get done, the more rest time you have. And like I said, it's just really short and powerful. And that's why we call it Power Ignite. It's going to get you the results. And then on Sunday is our dynamic recovery day. People love to skip dynamic recovery, or love to be like, well, I don't want to rest because I want to do more working out. Like, I want to get my sweat on. And the thing is when you are working out, you are breaking down muscle tissue. That's when you're putting your body under stress. It's when you're getting good sleep and good nutrition and resting that you start building muscle up stronger. So it's during the rest time actually that you're getting stronger and building muscle and burning fat, not so much during the stress time. All right. So I want you to make sure that you're taking that rest day on Sunday. And the dynamic recovery is really about mobility and getting your joints and your body primed for the week ahead. If you can get your body to the point where you can get better range of motion in some of your exercises because you've been working on your mobility, you're going to get better range of motion, you're going to have better form, and therefore you're going to get better results. So it's really an important workout. I don't want you guys to skip it because I know we tend to like to skip that one. But that's pretty much the program structure. And then MBFA is very similar. We add something called a Megan minute at the end of each block. It's a heavy 1-minute strength training interval. We usually use something from like one of the blocks you've just done. We add some more weight to it. We change it up just slightly, and we get a minute of heavy lifting done. So that's just going to take it up a notch. So literally MBFA is like the next small step up from MBF, and very, like I said, similarly structured. So I don't want you guys to see that word advanced at the end of MBF and be like, well, I can't do that program. And so I'm just going to cycle through MBF a million times. I want most people to think of this as a 6-week program. And I have had all ages, shapes, and sizes and ability levels do this as a 6-week program. And you will be able to take that next step into MBFA. It's just a matter of kind of mentally getting prepared and being like, okay, I'm taking that next step and we're going to do this, and encourage your challengers to do the same, because you will be able to do, it's only 5 more minutes of work. Everybody can do 5 more minutes of work.
I love that. A couple people had questions about nutrition. So we get access to 2B Mindset and UPF. Do you feel like there is, a difference in results following either program? Would you recommend one over the other, or what are your thoughts on that?
So this is the first time ever, the first challenge pack ever that we've had access to both of these programs. Your challengers, when they buy a challenge pack, are getting access like they bought both of those programs. So people have been asking me like, oh, well, when does that end? When does the trial version end? It's not a trial version. They're getting both of those programs. It's an incredible value. The only part that's a trial, I will say, is the monthly fix and the 2B membership. Those are trial versions of 30 days, but they're getting access to both programs full and forever. And that is amazing. So yes, everybody's been asking me, but which one works better? Which one's going to give me the best results? Which group did your challengers do? And I will say that because you have access to both, you need to make sure you're utilizing both. There's nothing worse than sticking somebody somewhere where they're not comfortable. So if they're more of an emotional eater and you stick them into Portion Fix and they're trying to figure out the containers, it's probably going to be pretty stressful for them. And on the same token, if you put them into 2B Mindset and they need a little bit more structure and support, that's probably going to be a little bit messy for them too. So talk to your challenger on an individual basis and figure out what their lifestyle looks like. Because if you stick them into something that they don't like, maybe they stick with it for that 6 weeks. Maybe they have success with it for that 6 weeks. At some point, if that does not fit into their lifestyle, they're going to wipe their hands of it and they're going to be done with it and they're going to start backtracking. So find that thing that really fits with them, because that's what's going to give them the long-term results. And especially when it comes to nutrition, I'm not even so worried about the 6 weeks. I'm worried about them maintaining that lifestyle change long after the 6 weeks. So I think it's a very individual thing and something you should talk to your challengers about.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool is that we get to help our challengers decide what's going to be best for them, And so I think that's pretty awesome that Beachbody's doing that now. So I think we can just move into Q&A. So if you guys have questions, drop in the comments. I'm going to steal the first question because I need to know. And then I'm just going to pass it on to like some of the other leaders and see if they have questions as well. But I'm currently 15 weeks pregnant and I have major FOMO. And I wasn't going to do it because I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I don't know. Seems a little intense. But now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ask Megan and see what her experience. I'm cleared by my doctor to exercise, like all of that stuff. So do you think that I could modify, or any pregnant clients and coaches could modify enough to participate in the program?
So I did not make this program with pregnancy in mind. And what I mean by that is, even if you use the modifier does not modify with pregnancy in mind. She modifies to make sure people are using correct range of motion, or if they're going to hurt their back or something like that. So she doesn't modify, like, for instance, in our core sections, she's going to be on her back, which is contraindicated for pregnancy. She's going to be on her stomach. She's going to be twisting. She's going to be using like a weight as she's doing core work. All not things that you want to do during pregnancy. So yes, exactly. You need to be cleared by your doctor first. You need to let them know what this program looks like. Let them know that the bod ropes are cordless and you're not going to be able to trip on them, because that's going to be something that they are worried, and that you're going to be able to easily modify that move. But I think that there just needs to be a level of like knowledge about fitness, because they're going to kind of be on their own as far as those modifications are concerned. So if somebody is not well informed about, working out, especially during pregnancy, I would rather be safe than sorry, especially with that. So I really think it's something that they have to kind of decide and talk with their doctor about.
Cool. Thank you. Do any of the other coaches that are leading the call have specific questions? There's also a couple questions in the chat if you want to go through those.
Hi, Megan. I just want to know, what are your top 3 like Beachbody products that you would recommend I give to my challengers for this program?
So definitely Energize, Recover, and like Shakeology. Like, those are my 3 favorites. I also personally use creatine. And I have a whole IGTV if you guys want to check that out about creatine. The only thing I will say about creatine is it does make you retain some water in your muscle. Not, it shouldn't show. It's like a pound of water distributed throughout your entire body inside your muscle. So some people say oh, I got so bloated on creatine. I'm like, you shouldn't be able to see a pound of water distributed through your entire body. But for somebody just starting out who's looking to lose weight, and you give them creatine and their weight goes up instead of going down, it's a little bit of a mind game. So I think you need to be well educated about the product, but it's one of my favorites too.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I guess, I have more. So we'll talk about the equipment. So you need light, moderate, and heavy dumbbells. And also the question I've always been asked is, well, what does that mean for me? Most people, I would say, use between 5 to 15 pounds. I use between 5 to 25 pounds. And a couple times I wanted a little bit heavier than that, but I also have to be able to talk to you guys as I'm working out. So that's sometimes hard. And then I've had a couple of my guys go up to like 30, 35 pounds at times as well. So that's kind of, the guidelines there. But I also want to challenge you guys to pick up the next heavier pair of dumbbells from what you've typically been using. So if you have typically been within that 5 to 15 pound range, then my challenge for you is to pick up the 17 and a halves or the 20s or whatever that next step is that you have. Start using that during this program and challenge yourself to use it more. And I know that weights aren't easily found right now, so the first challenge might be finding those weights. But if you do have access to that next heavier pair, then that's my challenge to you, is just go up a little bit in weight during this program and start challenging yourself to really start lifting more.
Someone asked in the chat, can this be modified to be lower impact for injuries or those of us who live in apartments with neighbors downstairs?
Yeah, so we have our modifier Lacey, and she's usually like quick stepping or marching or something like that. She's taken all the impact out of all the moves. Lacey's not on screen 100% of the time, but 90% of the modification is less and lighter weights. And we talk to that a lot, and I pull Lacey up a ton and talk to that a lot. But also, if ever Lacey is really doing something different than what I'm doing, she is the first person getting pulled up. She's going to be right there for anybody that needs that modification. So whenever you need her, Lacey will be there, and Lacey is absolutely incredible. So you guys will love her too.
I was just going to ask, like, obviously this was a totally crazy filming for you. Just personally, how was it with everyone on their own Zoom?
Yeah, so we're still filming right now, we just finished MBF and we're getting ready to go into MBFA. But yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, you guys saw the initial sizzle reel that we put out, and Carl and I did that call where we told you guys it was going to be the biggest cast ever, the biggest set ever, and then everything got shut down. And so we literally probably have gone through 10 different plans and twisting and turning and figuring out how to do this thing. Somebody was asking, well, why didn't you just delay? And we have delayed. I should have been already done filming for a couple months now. But looking down the road, we're kind of like, delayed till when? Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to put 40, 50 people in a room together to work out. Not only is it the cast, but also you have tons of people behind the scenes. It's just not me, the cast, and the cameraman. Like, you have tons of people in production that need to be in that building. So it just wasn't responsible or realistic for us to film in the way that we wanted to. And that being said, we came up with this concept of the Zoom cast. The cast is literally filming from their living rooms, and it definitely has been a learning process for all of us, but we have figured it out, and it's really cool. The cast is amazing, so they bring a lot of energy to the table, and they make you feel like, you're part of a team, and we're all doing it together. So I think it came out really amazing, and I'm actually really excited about it now.
That's what I was going to say. I've had a lot of people love it because they can see that they can do it in like a little tiny space. And it's like, yes, like this is what we've been preaching always. Like, this is what Zoom really is like. So I thought that was pretty cool touch.
Cool. Thank you. And yes, the entire program is going to be on Zoom. I mean, the sample workout was filmed the day before day one was filmed. So it's not like we filmed it a long time ago. It's all getting filmed at the same time. And yeah, like I said, there's not options.
Okay, so I know we only have about 5 more minutes left. Megan, can you talk about the transformations that you saw and the experiences in the test group for us?
Yeah, and I saw one of my test group people, my success starters. I saw Svetlana in here somewhere, but some of you are in this group, and I got to work with you, and everybody did such an incredible job. We were just talking about the filming this and everything. And through this entire process, I just felt like we took so many steps forward and kept on getting knocked down. And so from the very beginning of the year, I was just like, okay, like we can go one of two ways. We can like drag ourselves through this year, or we can like get going and take this on, and whatever comes our way, we kind of roll with the punches and pivot and keep on moving forward. And so my motto of the year had become despite all obstacles. And I brought that into the test group, into the success starters, and just said, guys, everybody has things going on. Like my gym right at that point had been shut down. My test group had been shut down. I went from being in LA teaching my test group to going home and filming from my iPhone in my living room. Like that's how my success starters got their workouts, was me filming from my living room on my iPhone. So like we had to do so many things, and I know they were sitting at home with their own issues and their own problems and their own stuff that they were dealing with because of just general what everybody is going through right now. So everybody kind of took on that motto of despite all obstacles, we're showing up for ourselves, we're taking care of ourselves, we're showing up with our nutrition. And so they all had such incredible results, and you guys will see all of the incredible before and after pictures. But there is one particular story I definitely want to share with you guys, which is one of the test group people. She was at the very beginning, she was in my original test group. And since that was an in-person test group until COVID happened and we got shut down, she had to audition for that. It was like local people to the LA area so they could come in every single day. And when in her audition, in her group, she happened to come in with a lot of other plus size women. And so she looked around the room and said, well, I'm in the right place. This is obviously a program for me. The day that she came in for her first workout, however, I did have all ages, shapes, and sizes, but when she walked in the room, she didn't see anybody that she identified with. And so she looked at that room and said, well, there's only fit people here. I must be in the wrong room. Like literally walked out of the room for a little bit and then like came back in like, oh, this is the only room. And so she felt super uncomfortable, and I could tell she was upset. And so I went to talk to her, and she was just like, I don't know if this is going to be the program for me. I said, no, we're going to modify whatever you need to modify. I'm going to be here to help you. So kind of begrudgingly, she showed up for the first few days, and eventually she started to be like, okay, I'm going to get through this. Like I said, I was going to do this. I signed the contract. Like, I am going to show up every single day. And slowly that confidence grew from being so worried about what she thought other people were thinking of her in that group to, well, I don't even care what other people are thinking about me in this group. And just side note, they were all being very positive. They were all also getting their own butts kicked and really worried about what they were going through at that moment. But she was just like, I don't care what other people think anymore. I am doing this for me. I'm showing up for me. So she did continue to show up every single day. And I told you guys that I wanted you to do this as a 6-week program, which means if you do it again, I still want you to start from MBF. I don't want you to get into the habit of just cycling MBFA, because we have a lot of different structures in both programs that go together, and you're going to miss so much if you don't do MBF again. So, but back then I hadn't really created that yet. And so they were kind of like different types of programs. And so she ended up doing MBF only once and then cycling MBFA over and over again and doing this program for 18 weeks. And in 18 weeks, LL lost 61 pounds. So I'm just like, if anybody tells me that they can't do MBFA because it says advanced at the end, LL wasn't working out before. LL wasn't comfortable when she walked in. And LL will be the first person to tell you that she modified 90% of the workout. She did push-ups from the wall. She did core work from a standing or seated position because she was uncomfortable getting down to the floor. She had a bench next to her, like a weight training bench, so she could lay down on that and do her bench presses or whatever we were doing from that position instead of getting down to the floor. She made this program work for her, and so can you. So, I just, if LL can do it, you guys can do it. Like, she made it work for her. And if you modify, if you go lighter in weight, if you slow down, if you take more rest time, it doesn't matter. You're only going to get better and stronger at it. She's only gotten better and better as she's gone through these programs and through these cycles. So literally anybody can do this as long as they're responsible about their starting point and realizing that they need to give their body some grace. Anybody can do this program. And she's definitely living proof of that. And you guys can share the before and after picture in your stories. Don't share it in your posts yet, only because we didn't put all the Beachbody things on it yet. She literally just finished her 18th week. And she also was kind of like, I'm not done yet. Like, don't share my picture yet. And I was like, okay, we won't officially share it yet. Like, whenever you're ready, we'll share it. But so you guys can share it in your stories if you want. But she's done absolutely incredible so far. And yeah, she's just proof that the program works for anybody.
Well, that was the perfect thing to end on. So thank you for sharing that with us. Sydney, do you have anything that you need to say?
I don't think so. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Megan. I did post in the chat the Facebook link. Make sure you guys are in that Facebook page because we're taking off on the 7th. It's 3 weeks, coach exclusive, to be right by the side of Megan doing the workout.
And that's my favorite part. I'm so excited to like support you guys through the group. And just thank you guys for bringing this into your communities, because I can make, workout videos all day long, but you guys bring it into your community and you guys are the ones supporting people through it and getting the results and changing people's lives. So it's all about you guys at this point, and I just appreciate you guys so much. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. We appreciate your time. Everybody else, thanks so much. And I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, guys.